Hey guys, I am Ibigandscary. I'm bringing you another StarCraft 2 replay, this time featuring MataxpP. In the top left corner are Masters Protoss, who is red. And in the bottom right we have PBigBadBoy, our blue Protoss, who is in diamond, I believe. One way or another though, you know, PBigBadBoy is preparing to move up. MataxpP is probably in the middle to low tier of Masters, so he's this matchup is probably not somebody preparing to get steamrolled. It's on the ladder. The ladder does that sometimes, just matching up different leagues. So I'm sure PBigBadBoy can more than hold his own here. And MataxpP will probably show us exactly what it means to be a Masters, and it's going to be great. PvP, super boring in the early game, I'm not going to lie. Unless you're going to see some shenanigans, and I don't think we are, just because of the pylons going down in the main base, no pylons being placed down on the low ground or anything like that. Everybody knows the build for PvP. You go pylon, you go gateway, you go cyber core, you go gas and gas. And then like 3 minutes into the matchup, you build the first weird building, which is sometimes a robo, sometimes it's a 4-gate, sometimes it's a stargate, sometimes it's just an early expansion. And it's incredibly obnoxious because the identical builds, look at that, almost identical timing for the gateway. Actually, MataxpP has his gateway down 5 seconds earlier, also grabbing that gas just a little bit earlier than PBigBadBoy. I'm sure PBigBadBoy is going to grab a gas just in a couple of seconds. There it goes. So yeah, it's going to make me look like a prophet here, because I'll be able to tell you that the next structure that they're going to throw down is either a gas or a cybernetics core, and my money's on the cybernetics core. We could talk about Ohana though. We've got two Xel'Nagas watching over the middle ground, and something that I've seen is this hidden area in the center. You can hide an army in that grass. I guess you could hide tech, but it would be watched by the Xel'Naga towers. I would love to see these towers like repositioned, maybe one here and one here. Just so that you could actually hide something in the center there and see how long it went without being noticed. The cybernetics core and assimilator both going down. It looks like the cyber core was first, and no second gas for PBigBadBoy just yet. There it goes. Very good. Very good. I also like this little cubbyhole right here. I've actually seen a Terran army get pushed back by the Zerg. The actual engagement was up here at the third. They ran all the way down, all the way down, all the way down, and then finally just got cubbyholed right here. And the damage that was done to the Zerg was just absolutely catastrophic, because there was no concave for the Zerg, and the Marines and Marauders just went to town on the Zerg. It was ridiculously devastating. Both players are chrono boosting the cybernetics core to get that warp upgrade even faster. Energy staying very, very low on the Nexus, just a sign of some very solid players. Double gas for MataxpP means that he'll probably be trying for a higher tech. Both players actually going for the double gas. So I guess the higher tech for MataxpP is, or correction, PBigBadBoy, is the Robo Bet. He's going one gate into Robo, and it looks like a pylon being placed down for MataxpP at the third, or I guess the fourth, in the low ground expansion on the left side. So it'll be interesting to see what gets built at this pylon. Quite a lot of gas saved up for MataxpP. He's not really expending it on sentries. It's going to be a Stargate. So a rush tech to Void Race, going to be marginally effective, I'm sure. Air maps like this one, where Ohana is just so large and you've got multiple pathways into the base, can really favor Void Ray aggression. Even Phoenixes can do quite a lot of damage to probe lines. And they're also pretty helpful in the late game, depending on what gets created out of the Robo facility. Looks like it's going to be Immortals right now. And Immortals are going to tie up quite a lot of gas for no air defense. They only attack ground, which means he'll be even more vulnerable to the whatever tech's coming out of the Stargate. Directly translates to lack of stalkers, basically. MataxpP though is really playing it loose. He's only got a single one of each gateway units up on the main base, and a fleet beacon being built by MataxpP down on that low ground too. So it looks like it's either going to be a mothership tech, which would be awesome, or carriers, which would be equally amazing. One way or another though, he's getting Protoss air weapons, which is going to be incredible. I'm actually getting excited about this game. With the second Immortal on the way, the ground army is going to be incredibly intimidating for PBigBadBoy. but the if it's a mothership, there's not much he can do. He's got the Robo Bet though, so he'll probably make an observer before he actually pushes out, and the observer will scout everything. But yeah, it's gonna be carrier. Sweet. And a warp prism on the way for PBigBadBoy. Okay, so what he'll do is he'll put both of the immortals in the warp prism, and he'll use that as like an immortal drop, which is incredible because immortals have 0 lead up animation to the actual firing. So the second they drop, they do quite a lot of damage, and then you pick them back up in the warp prism, and they don't take any damage. So that sort of it's very micro intensive. It's very it makes it so you have to focus on the battles quite a lot, but it can be very devastating, and it looks like that's what PBigBadBoy was waiting for. He's got both of his immortals in that warp prism, and he's moving off of a very large ground army. Not a lot of stalkers, not a lot of anti-air, so this carrier is going to be very effective. Once again, chrono boosting it, keying up another one. Looks like the warp prism's going off to the right side, which is not going to be good, because if he went to the left, he'd be able to scout the carrier. But as things are now, MataxpP does not have a ground army worth anything. He's 2 zealots, a sentry, and a stalker is going to be chewed up by this incredibly fast. That first carrier is out on the field now, probably starting on the interceptors already, and it looks like the warp prism is actually readjusting its location. It's moving off to the left side, so it will scout the carrier being built, and I don't think the carrier is going to finish before the warp prism shows up. The observer is out for PBigBadBoy, and the force that's going to be coming in through the front door, there's not a lot that can hold it back. Another warping of zealots, so a lot of money being spent there. Pylon goes down almost instantly, unpowering the Stargate. That carrier is probably never going to finish, but the one carrier that is out right now is beginning to just pour down fire. Out of the 4 stalkers, only 3 of them remains. Man, there's just so much damage there. The warp prism readjusts before it actually takes down the Stargate, making the carrier, so that carrier is still under production. If it gets repowered, we could have 2 carriers out on the field. And a really good play by MataxpP is to target down the stalkers instead of the immortals. Even though the immortals chewing through all the ground army, the stalkers are pretty much the only thing that can do damage to the carrier. Significant damage rather. All the stalkers have gone down. One of the immortals has fallen. Only 2 remains. The third one came up from the ground, had to hoof it. The 2 sentries kind of tickling the carrier. Finally, his shields are down. Oh, and another warping of 3 stalkers. It's gonna do quite a lot of damage to the carrier if they manage to get within range. But the zealots are kind of providing a meat wall, and with some proper micro from MataxpP, he continues to keep his carrier alive. With its superior range of 8, it can really stay out of the way of those stalkers and just rain down fire. The immortals had used their time wisely, taking out a pylon to unpower one of the gateways, but that wasn't enough to stem the flow of just constant zealot aggression. Another warping of stalkers on the low ground brings the carrier down to 36 health. Got to be very careful. That carrier represents such a huge investment into this army. And the Stargate, it looks like, is going to be focused down again by PBigBadBoy. He's got another round of stalkers, so that carrier can't reinforce its position by itself. It's also got an observer tagging along with it from PBigBadBoy, so he sees all about this force. This Stargate is definitely going to go down. But MataxpP held the push. It looks like PBigBadBoy is grabbing an expansion behind it. He's got a carrier out, which is just incredibly powerful, and he's beginning to mix in immortals so that his ground force is going to be very devastating too. That fleet beacon is still up though, so he could repower that fleet beacon and create a mothership at his main base. Can he? Oh, he can do it even if it's not powered. So yeah, that's totally what he should do, is just build a mothership. Why not? I mean, you've already got a carrier. What else is there to do? Stalkers die quite a lot. Another warping of stalkers on the low ground come in. It looks like the push is going to be happening at Big Boy's front door. He wisely cancels the expansion, begins to double down on his unit production. He's got quite a lot of zealots and stalkers in the main base, but man, MataxpP has quite an intimidating force. And with that carrier scouting the high ground, even with a couple of sentries, usually this ramp can be held for an indefinite period of time, but has to be very careful. There's a lot of stalkers doing quite a lot of damage. A couple of stalkers make it through, but the carrier overextends itself, finally goes down. But the ground force from PBigBadBoy is so small A lot of zealots, a lot of immortals getting in through the main base. The ramp is down, and MataxpP all of a sudden is in the main base. Big bad boy, good game out of it. You know, it's pretty easy to feel frustrated during that fight, but I feel like Big Bad Boy took it very well, took it to the chin. And man, what a play by Meta. It's very clever to get the carrier out. It's very hard to make it pay for itself, but the micro in it, especially targeting down the anti-air while leaving the high price targets like the immortals free to run amok in the base. It's a good play. Thanks for posting this. Thanks for watching this. If you guys have a game you want me to cast, you could PM me here or on Reddit. One way or another, I will see you guys later. I am Big and Scary.